All right, everybody. We got to start it off right with the wrestling god, JBL. Welcome to Wrestling with Reality. I'm John, and of course, joining me as always is my partner, Richie. Richie, what's up, buddy?
What's up, brother man? We are past Christmas finally. I hope y'all are nice and comfy in your homes, haven't gone back to work quite yet. Maybe we'll start the work week tomorrow on the right foot and have a show tonight, man, and have some fun. So
let's do it, man. Let's do it. What's going on, Laza?
What's up, Laza? Blackjack Laza.
Land Australia. Hope everybody had a great Christmas.
The Australian God.
The Australian God. Crocodile Dunlaza.
Dunlaza.
Queensland, Australia, damn it. Well, hope everybody had a great Christmas. Hopefully you spent a lot of time with the people that matter the most. Hopefully you had a great time. We got New Year's coming up soon, too. So next week, once again, just a quick programming reminder. We'll be doing our show next weekend again because it's Wednesday. Our normal time is on New Year's Eve, so I don't think...
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so we're going to move it to Sunday for this week again. So that's why we're here again. But we've been doing Sundays for a long time now anyways. So.
Yeah, it's been kind of our second show. We'll probably keep it going like that. I mean, we may have to make the shift to Saturday, though, eventually because of the Paramount stuff with the UFC, so we'll see.
Yeah, we're definitely going to try to keep up with at least one every weekend, you know, as much as we can for sure. So Saturdays I'm definitely down for too, especially with free fights.
Dude,
so,
huge.
If you got Paramount, it's free.
And the first one is massive.
Who's on the first card?
Pimblett, Patty Pimblett, and Justin Gaethje.
Gotcha. Yep, it's going to be a good one. Will the wrestling god be there?
JBL?
Will he be
I hope he shows up and fucking clotheslines the hell out of Pimblett.
You don't like Patty Pimblett?
I'm not a big Patty Pimblett fan. I think he tries to act like Connor a little bit.
Yeah, he reminds me of Nigel Gruff from the movie The Replacement.
Nigel Gruff.
Yeah, you've seen The Replacements, right?
Yep.
Get the bloody
Superstar Laza Dundee. That's funny.
It's gonna stick, man.
Yep.
It's a good one for him. Blackjack Laza Dundee, the superstar.
There you go.
Only. So what'd you do for Christmas?
Just hung out at the house, man. I went and saw my parents and stuff like that. Got a badass fucking Boston Scully hat from my mom, shit like that. And, you know, kid got to open all her gifts and stuff, which is what it's all about to begin with anyhow. So just relaxed, cook some food, you know, watch some Christmas movies, stuff like that. What about you?
Christmas Eve went over. We had everybody over. My brother and his fiance and their son came over. My kids were there that night, and then we see my stepsister was there too. And then what did we do that night? We just ate, and then we went to church. We went to Christmas Eve service for church, which was always my favorite one every year. I love like the candlelight services at like nighttime and stuff, and the church is, you know, just lit up with everybody's love and good joy and goodness. And then on Christmas Day, my kids were over at their mom's house for the morning, and then came back and opened up presents over at my house. And then we went over my dad's house, and we actually just went out to go eat. We've been doing it the last couple of years. Went out and got some Chinese food. Chinese food
on Christmas.
Yeah. Interesting, right?
That's some Christmas story type of shit, man.
Pretty much. We've done it the last 2 years. I'm not really a big fan of it, to be honest with you. You know, but I don't know. It's just the way we've done it. It's easier on my parents, and my parents kind of, you know, like to do things at their house, but they're getting older now, so it's a little harder, I think.
Your mom hasn't been doing too good, has she?
No, she hasn't. Yeah. You know, she hasn't been feeling real well for a long time. So, you know, I cooked Thanksgiving and everything this year to make it easy. You know, so she's on the mend, but you know, definitely it's been hard for her. So we've been, you know, trying to keep it easy, and that's why we did it this year. But next year I want to go back to like the traditional style on Christmas Day that we had. But it's different when your kids are all grown up too. My kids are all grown up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's different, you know. It's you know, maybe one day I'll have more. I don't know. Who knows? But
I think you will.
I think so too. God willing, you know.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to give the old college try. So,
there you go.
You know, it's worked for me.
At least have fun doing it, you know?
Yeah, that's the best part of it right there. You know, you get to do all the trying. As long as God sees me fit to have more then they don't come. But I don't know, it's way different when your kids aren't little anymore, because it's just that, that experience now with your daughter. It's like you get that beautiful childlike excitement that they have for Santa Claus coming and their gifts and Christmas Day and all that stuff. Let's see what Laza says. Laza said, spent Christmas feasting, relaxing by myself, enjoying some great snacks with some Bailey's Irish cream mixed with some chocolate milk.
The mud Coke, huh?
There you go. Also had a mud cake.
What is mud cake? Excuse me. I thought you said mud Coke. I was like, that sounds kind of good. Some alcoholic beverage?
Is that with chocolate pudding in it, Laza?
Sounds like it.
Had some beef jerky, some pork crackle, and some great snacks.
There you go.
There you go.
Bailey's Irish cream with chocolate milk. Huh.
That's a combo.
I mean, I've done Bailey's and coffee, never with chocolate milk. That sounds kind of good, though.
It's fucking delicious in coffee, bro. I'm more of a fan of Kahlua in coffee.
Kahlua is good, too. Kahlua is a good one, too.
One of my favorite drinks in the whole world is a White Russian, which is Kahlua, cream, and vodka. And that's all it is.
Man, when we went to Laughlin last, my wife, she got fucking plastered on mudslides, man. Like, just fucking gone. She drank a twisted tea, and then when we went inside, she just kept feeding on the mudslides over and over and over again. And she kept hitting the blackjack tables. And she comes back after I'd given her 500, and I go, where's the money at? She goes, what do you mean, what money? And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, the guy at the table was like, your husband must love you. You keep going back and forth getting money from him. I was like, it's time to go to the room. So the next morning, we're sitting there, and of course, we find all the money that she had in the poker chips. She actually was up and won.
There you go.
It was in her clothes. She had lost it in her clothes. So
those fucking drinks sneak up on you, though, bro, because they taste like mudslides or White Russians taste like a chocolate shake.
Well, and the thing about it is too is when you're at a casino or something like that,
it's free.
They'll water down the first couple, and then they just hit you with the heavy ones.
And it's free.
And it's free.
Yeah. You know? How can you beat free?
When you're gambling, that's their way of keeping you going.
Do they still do that in Vegas all the time? Like, is it free everywhere? You're drinking, just tip them or whatever.
Yep, you just got to tip the ladies, and they'll keep bringing you beers.
Hey, they'll load you up, man. They'll get you liquored up, because the drunker you get, the more you'll spend.
Yep. We're gonna have to live stream it for everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna be there in a few weeks. We're gonna be tearing that fucking town up, man.
What up, Jeremy? What's up, Joey?
Merry Christmas, you fucking goofs.
Yeah, we're gonna. God bless him too, man.
Let's touch on him first. He's he's really sick right now, guys.
Don Fry's back in the hospital. Dan Severn posted a really nice thing about him last night. I noticed that, and I talked to him about it a little bit. He's got atrial fib really bad, kind of going into congestive heart failure, and he's a stubborn, he's a stubborn fuck. So his daughter had to come out there and race him to the hospital, man. So not a good situation. Thoughts and prayers to the goof master himself, Don Fry. Much love from Wrestling with Reality, for sure.
If there's anybody tough enough to kick out of that shit, it's him.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's probably died a good 5-6 times in his life.
His mustache scares the Grim Reaper off alone.
Dude, would you want to be Death coming up to him and say, "Hey, bud, it's time to go"? Don Fry be like, "Fuck you."
I don't think that shit works for me.
Yeah.
Congestive heart failure has a case of Don Fry. Yeah,
absolutely right.
Absolutely, man. I hope he gets better soon. God bless him, and I hopefully he's on the right path to getting whatever he needs fixed. He's got to get a pacemaker in, right?
That's usually the treatment for. A lot of times they put you on Lasix and stuff like that, and they try to get your swelling down from your body because your heart's not keeping up. Your heart usually pumps, with a steady rhythm like this, and his is just fluttering. That's what happens when you go into atrial fib. It's not getting enough strength to pump the blood to his body.
Yeah, if they wanted to cart him off in the ambulance or whatever, Laza, if he had to go, he'd say, "We need to give me a little drink first."
A little drink of water. He probably has like the water boy does, a blessed horse trough water. It's always warm,
That son of a bitch, man. Like, it's gonna run from him. Death is gonna run from this guy. He's gonna beat it.
It was blessed by Wyatt Earp,
Hold on, Wyatt Earp's a fucking goof.
Wyatt Earp said Don Fry was a man's man,
He's a fucking pussy.
Drank whiskey with Bob Holiday one time. Out drank him.
Put him to shame. Mm-hmm. Well, good blessings to Don. Let's hope he gets better soon. You know, we need him around and
Goofs
I'm
of the
sure there's
week.
a bunch of other people that do too.
Yep,
So
for sure.
he's a legend, man, and I really hope and pray that he gets better soon. So,
Absolutely.
did you hear MJF is the AEW champion again?
I actually watched the match.
How
It
was
was
it?
the only. It was a good match. You know, it's the same shit MJF always does. Uh, Good match, good promo at the end and stuff like that. But you got to understand something. The guy's game plan is to be in Hollywood and make the money there. You know, so he's
Sure.
double dipping right now with AEW, and they're trying to put it on his back to kind of revamp their promotion and stuff like that, which is where it should have been the whole time, right? MJF should always be in their main event picture or close to it. So the fact that it took him this fucking long with the goofs they were feeding him, it's like I don't know what their game plan was with all that. He's lost his shine, you know.
I
So now you're
agree.
gonna try and reset it again.
I
It
don't think
doesn't
it's
make
there
sense.
anymore with him.
It's not.
The aura's gone, bro.
Yeah.
Like he's the same tired gimmick and the same tired phrases for the last 6-7 years now. That's
I'll
all
never forget when all the marks and shit like that, and I'm a wrestling mark too. We all are. But when all the people were saying that he was the best heel the industry had ever seen and all this stuff, I said, yeah, but what's going to happen when he doesn't have somebody feeding him shit or when he can't reinvent himself? I said, the thing is Roddy Piper, you give him a mic any time of the night, he's going to invent something to go talk about. Doesn't matter what it is. If he's doing the Mexican hat dance to piss people off in the crowd, he's going to do it. MJF, he uses the same shit over and over and over again. The I'm better than you, all that stuff.
I'm a generational talent.
Roddy Piper never had catchphrases like that.
No.
He just fucking would go out there and it would be original every time.
It was great to watch him, in the beginning, and you saw this guy come out and you're like, oh, he's a real heel, he's doing it. But that's always been the thing we've always said through the years. Can he maintain this long term? Can he reinvent himself? You can't look at the best person to think about reinventing himself is Chris Jericho, whether you like some of his things he's done or not. Yep. I mean, Chris Jericho is a generational talent for a reason because he knows how to reinvent himself over and over again.
Yep.
MJF had a great first act in AEW and built a lot of interest up towards him. And then after that, man, the shine started coming off because it was the same tired bullshit, man. They tried to push him to be a baby face. They tried to do this, it didn't work. Then he's off doing movies. He's taping other things. He's not
I think the baby face gimmick for him was one of the biggest mistakes that they ever made.
The baby face thing with him?
Yeah, yeah.
It should have been way later on. It was too soon.
I don't think it should have been at all.
I think down the road it would have worked for him for a while.
Yeah.
I think it would have worked for him for a while.
Yeah.
MJF is reminding me of the franchise Shane and Douglas and ECW, the franchise of the company, but not always utilized as such. Yeah, because when they're not built in that role, what can they do as a mid-carder? MJF is a terrible mid-carder.
I think so too.
He doesn't, because he tries to play it off like he's always the main eventer. And when he's supposed to fulfill a mid-card role, it doesn't work for him.
It doesn't work at all.
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing he did to me was re-signing with AEW. He should have signed, even if he would have got a little lost over there for a bit. Look at the shine that good talents have gotten that have come over from there.
Well, here's my thing. Do you think WWE would have humbled him for not signing with them originally and put him in NXT?
No, I don't think he would have gone to NXT.
I think he's got a big enough name, especially with people like Cena and stuff like that. Like they know him. So
Pritchard, has known him for years. They worked together in MLW and stuff like that. And he's always been a big fan of him. And everybody.
Well, he comes from Creative Pro, which is Brian Myers shit.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, so he's got the connections and people that had worked with him in MLW and liked working with him that were there. I think he went for the bigger paycheck, and I think he was more content with being a big fish in a small pond than to try to be the big fish in the big pond because he knew that it was going to be an uphill climb for him. And I think that goes to Hollywood too. I think he has much more illusions of grandeur and doing bigger things outside of wrestling.
Well, when you got a connection with Adam Sandler, I mean, that's some big money there in Hollywood. So,
what was the last? He was just taping a movie. I don't know what it was or anything like that. Was it another Sandler movie he was doing or something?
It's a good possibility. Sandler said he would have him back anytime for any of the movies.
And if Sandler likes you, you have a job for life with him.
For life.
just look at his movies and you'll see
Look
the
at
reoccurring
Rob
cast.
Schneider.
Yeah,
Blacklisted
everybody,
from Hollywood, but he's
nobody
always
will
in
touch
Adam
him.
Sandler movies.
Yep, nobody will touch him, and his friend will still do it.
Yep.
And then all of his other friends that are character actors in all of his movies, if you're a big Sandler fan, you'll see them all in them all the time. You know, he's one of the most loyal people in Hollywood, probably.
Exactly.
You know, so
that's kind of why I like Adam Sandler so much too. I mean,
I agree with you, bro. I feel the same way that you do, man. I like the loyalty that the guy has to people.
Sure.
You know, when the world kicks somebody else out, you know, because they, you know, don't like him, a real friend is the one that stands by him, you know, and Sandler seems like that. He's that type of guy. So if MJF's, you know, really doing stuff with him a lot now, or if he really liked him, it was a good idea for him. You know?
Absolutely.
I don't blame him for wanting to go down that route. I just don't want to hear the same tired bullshit fucking gimmick over and over and over again. There.
Right. I agree.
WWE has Ricky Saints. They could boost him as a counter to MJF and AEW. It's both similarly great charisma. You know, I don't think Ricky has the same as the guy like that. I think Ricky Saints is a little overhyped, in my opinion.
I think he's kind of on the level of a Fandango. You know?
He's a mid-Carter to me.
Mid-Carter at best. You know, like I think they tried to make him a cheap ripoff of The Rock mixed with something else, like a new age version of him.
When you look at him, he ain't The Rock, man.
He ain't The Rock, man. He ain't The Rock. I remember when we were watching NWA Power, that was like our first podcast we did, and we were like, man, you know, we keep hearing about this Ricky Starks guy. He's got to be the star of the show. He wasn't, dude.
Yeah,
he wasn't.
We look at him and he's as generic looking as can be. You know, he, you know, what was his finisher? The pounce that he would use, the spear.
Yep.
You know, that was like Monty Brown's and all the other guys that have used the spear through the years. And then when he went to AEW and we would first catch him over there, I'm like, I still don't see it all the way. I'm not saying he's a bad performer or anything like that.
No, he's just a mid-card talent.
Yeah, I don't see him being a fucking main eventer in any way. You know, NXT champion, sure. You know,
Bo Dallas was at one point. You know,
a lot of people were, and look when they came up to the main roster. Ask Karrion Kross how that works for you.
Yeah, I think Seth Rollins is probably the biggest success story out of NXT. So
yeah, I mean that might be a good topic one day to do, where we look at the biggest successes from NXT because
I mean Roman Reigns, you know, him too, and stuff like that. But I'm saying like, as far as like people that are going to continue to go, I think Seth Rollins is probably going to outlast all those guys. You know.
When I saw Ricky, I thought he looked like the next Rock or Kid Romeo from WCW. Like, oh my God, Kid Romeo. That's a name from the past.
Kid Romeo.
He does kind of look like him, though, Lazo. That's a good pickup on him, you know? He'd always, Kid Romeo would dress like a dick dancer, you know, when he'd come out and stuff. He was horrible.
Right.
Off-topic question. What's valued more, loyalty or respect? Yeah, I got to go with loyalty.
Yeah, loyalty.
You know? Respect is something, you know.
Loyalty brings the respect.
Yeah. You know, if somebody's not loyal to you, they're not going to respect you.
No.
Yeah, I got to go with that too.
Yep.
But I don't know. MJF, I mean, whatever. They're doing their thing over there. Moxley, I guess, busted a tooth out or something like that.
Did he really?
Yeah. They showed
Is he still
out.
sober? He looks sober.
He is, yeah. They babyface turned him on this one where he gave, you know, this rah-rah AEW speech, you know, that he gave after he won the Continental Classic or something. I mean, how many fucking times have we heard these rah-rah speeches and shit? To me, it's about a year and a half too late for them.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you're going to give a rah-rah like that and make this guy your baby face of your franchise like you should.
That's it, dude. Every time.
He must give good BJs. I don't want to know.
Well, if our president does it, you know.
I'm not saying any of it.
Do it.
Oh.
You know?
Scott Hall.
Yeah.
So Scott Hall. That made me lose my train of thought a little bit on that one. Woo.
Apologize about that, bud.
No. I would have read it eventually and lost my train of thought on that one. But the whole Moxley thing was, you know, I like Moxley too. I do. I think it's a little too late. It's about a year and a half too late for them. I think their reputation has been damaged, you know, too much through the years. So
it was the over-promising that got them every time. You know, it was the bringing in the WWE guys, even to a ridiculous level of Mark Henry. You know, bringing in the Big Show, I don't think was a bad thing. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Big Show as an ambassador to your brand is a solid one. Mark Henry, not so much. His mouth and shit gets you in trouble. Like they could have done without him. Big Show, I think
that Mark Henry thinks he's the second coming of Jesus Christ when it comes to wrestling. It's pathetic.
Good God, I know.
Ugh.
the delegation.
You know, I told this young man, I said, "You listen to me with my career that I've had.
Sit down with us in the delegation.
I'm the world's strongest man."
Yeah.
Fuck that guy, man. He's one of the biggest fucking pieces of shit in pro wrestling.
Didn't X-Pac like shit in a sandwich and he ate it or something?
Yeah, and he took a big bite out of it. That's why they did the whole thing in the Nation skit where he goes, hey, you know, it tastes like shit. Fucking X-Pac will always be over for me for doing that to Mark Henry.
X-Pac's always going to be over for me anyways. I don't know why he got as much heat as he did.
I fucking hated his character as X-Pac at the end. It was horrible.
I liked his character at the end when it was with the Just Incredible and A-Train. That was bad. But the DX X-Pac was dope. I liked that one.
That was like at the end, though. Like the DX one was good, you know, or when he was 6 from the fucking in the NWO, he was good. I even didn't mind the 1, 2, 3 kid. It was the end of his career to me, where they
stained everything.
Yeah, the X-Pac heat thing that they would come out with because people just didn't want to see this fucking guy, and he had that annoying music. X-Pac.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's like Brie Bella's one.
Or when he did the Uncle Cracker rendition of it.
Oh God, it was horrible. He had an awful ending. You know. But to take a fucking dump in Mark Henry's sandwich and then he takes a big bite out of it.
And then he shit in Sable's bag too. That's pretty funny too.
Yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't want to run into Brock Lesnar.
I don't think he'd mention that to Brock Lesnar.
You know.
To do it to Mark Henry though, I wish somebody would ask Mark Henry that on the podcast. How'd that shit sandwich taste, Mr. Henry?
It's too bad that they didn't have cell phones back in the day.
Snap a fucking selfie of that shit when he's doing it. Get a video.
Taking a dump in his sandwich.
Hold on, Mark. We got you some delicious sandwich for you.
Yeah.
Double-decker style.
Oh.
Extra sloppy Joe.
I know how you like them extra sloppy. That's fucked up.
Well, if there's anybody I think that probably deserves it, it's him.
Yeah, no shit.
AEW bringing him in was just ridiculous, man.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
I mean, you can't, you know, he didn't come cheap.
Who, Mark Henry?
Yeah, you know, he wasn't coming.
Might have. You never know. He might have.
WWE just finally got rid of him after all those years, and
what do you think a guy like Mark Henry made in WWE?
You know, I would bet if I was to take a guess. I mean, he had that like Olympic contract that was like a 10-year, $1 million a year contract or something like that. I think he got at one point. You know, I don't remember the specifics of it, but I can't imagine he was making over $1 million a year, bro. You know,
let's see.
See if it pops up somewhere to see how much he made.
So in 1996, he signed a $10 million 10-year deal. So he's making $1 million a year. So that's that one.
And people hated him for that. You know, here's this guy that's walking in off the Olympics and he's making $1 million a year. I can't imagine.
$877,000 a year on the downside is what he was making. First class travel.
So he's easily making over $1 million a year with bonuses and shit.
AEW, he is earning $250,000 or was earning $250,000.
What a waste of money.
Yeah.
What a waste of money. What did he bring to the table there to give that man a quarter of $1
million a year?
Absolutely.
So you're probably talking he was making $250,000 off of that, and then with the Busted Open, he was probably taking $100,000 home a year. So you're talking $350,000, and then probably with the meet and greets and stuff like that, you figure another, I don't know, $60,000-$70,000 a year.
Yeah. Remarkable, right?
For Mark fucking Henry.
For Mark fucking Henry, a guy that's just a turd. Literally.
Where's he from? Billsbury, Texas or something?
Silsbee, Texas.
Silsbee, Texas.
You know, and then his kid's getting his in there too because his kid's an athlete or something like that. So
is he going to wrestle?
Yeah, he's like a wrestler for University of Oklahoma for their college team.
So we're going to get another generation of this.
Yeah, we're going to get another generation of Henry. You know,
the delegation is going to get handed down.
The delegation is getting turned over to young Jacob.
Young Jacob Henry.
Yeah, this is his name, Jacob
Silsbee,
Henry.
Texas.
From Silsbee, Texas. He's the pride and joy of Silsbee, Texas.
Pride and joy. I don't know what else is out there.
I don't fucking know either, man.
Might be a couple oil fields. That's about it.
There's something about that guy that just fucking rubs me the wrong way, bro.
He's a hero of his own mind, you know.
I think he's a racist fucking asshole.
Rabbi Shalom, I hope your fucking Kwanzaa was great.
Rabbi's here. All right, he's back, man. He's back in action. Good to see you, Rabbi. Oh, sorry. Sorry,
Wrong
didn't mean
button.
to do that. Wrong button. Good to see you, Rabbi. I think Mark's a fucking racist to people, man.
For sure.
I really do. And, maybe I don't know him, but the way that he acts to people, to me, he comes across that way often.
For sure.
Very,
man,
very racist feeling, or very, 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 very much to me. That's what I. That's
Rabbi,
what I
you
get.
celebrate Christmas? That's not very Jewish.
Yeah, what's with that? You just had Hanukkah.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of double dipping, if you ask me.
See, that's what it is to me, Joey. It's race baiting all the time with him.
Yep.
That's why I don't like him.
Yep.
He must have an ego for having a good time with many, many grandmas.
Dude, Mae Young went straight to his fucking head. I tell you what, when he had that hand, that was it, man.
That was the best gimmick.
What's the hand up to? Have we checked on the hand?
I don't know. Can we get it at a meet and
I
greet
heard he's in
place?
WWE Creative writing stories and shit.
He might be. I'll say this though.
You got to have a fucking hand writing these stories nowadays. They're garbage. Dude.
Pretty much. Sexual chocolate was a pretty funny gimmick, though.
Yep.
I got to say that. Did you like sexual chocolate at least?
Sexual chocolate was funny, but it was funny because of Mae Young. If it was just Mark Henry, it would have been garbage.
He said he wanted to fight the writer that called him the silverback. Why? What's bad about that?
I thought Michael Cole originated the silverback thing.
I celebrate both equal balance.
I don't know, Rabbi. Sounds like rewinds behind this keyboard.
Uh-oh. Don't. Richie's very convinced of this.
It's rewind.
Very convinced.
Rabbi, what kind of flavor of lotion you got right there?
Cocoa butter.
Yeah.
He's got him some fucking cocoa butter going on.
Right.
I miss rewind. We need it. We need some rewind coming.
We need some rewind in our life. We need a part 2 of Tales from the Truck.
Why would the silverback be racist? What's wrong about silverback? I don't understand it.
I've never heard that as a bad thing. Kosher pickle.
Okay. Do you like pickles?
Not really.
I don't either. I don't like kosher ones at that either. So
I could do without pickles if I never had one again. That'd be okay.
I absolutely would never want to eat one for the rest of my life.
Yep.
Because of the silverback gorilla. Oh, okay. I guess that is the most ridiculous thing in the world to say that that's racist to me.
Yeah, it's stretching.
You really got to be pushing it, man. If you're going for that,
I think he was trying to go for that racist money. You know?
He's trying to get a little lawsuit cash.
A little lawsuit. They called me Silverback.
They call me the Silverback, damn it. I'm going to sue that.
How do you get your pick to go around your back like that?
Boom, boom, boom. Hold on. Rewind is probably all tied up. I don't know. Might be the other way around on that.
Yeah.
He took it as compared to him. But yeah, you got to be a sensitive fucking bastard, man.
What a fucking goof.
What a fucking goof. Speaking of goofs, who's your goof of the week this week?
Oh, man, you and I were talking about this earlier, and she's been a real fucking pain in the ass in the MMA community and the wrestling community now. And, like, you would think that, like, she would be the most humble person on planet Earth because of the spot she's been handed on a silver platter. Yeah, she did her little hard work and stuff in the beginning. But literally, Ronda fucking Rousey gets more sour by the fucking week. She literally called out Stephanie Valquay and basically said that she's stuck behind a fake gimmick contract in the WWE and that she could never touch her in the MMA. You know, and it's like, no shit, Sherlock, first of all. And secondly, if you're so proud of like your Roddy Piper and shit like that, and he's like your father figure that you always say, and you stole his gimmick, by the way. But anyhow, you know, that's beside the point. If you respect Roddy Piper so much and his lineage, why would you call wrestling fake, which was something he was so against, you know? She's got to be the most bitter fucking human being on planet fucking Earth, you know? Like, even worse than Bret Hart, I would say. She's hated by the MMA community. She's hated by the WWE community. And everybody boos her whenever they see why? Because of her fucking attitude. You know, she thinks the world owes her something. She was put in a position where it was the most beautiful story of her pressing women's sports and women's shit forward through MMA. She was the first one to step on the mat and win and be the champion in the UFC like that. That's an epic fucking thing that is forever in the record books. And she just shits on it every single chance she gets. She doesn't deserve that title.
No.
She doesn't deserve that title. She should have never been handed that position. She's not a humble person. Her husband is a piece of fucking shit, you know, and they deserve each other, you know, and I wish her a lifetime of fucking misery. I really do. I really fucking do.
She went on to state that Stephanie Vacker is overrated. She shouldn't be main eventing, and saying how she elevated the women's division more than Vacker ever has.
She put some asses in the seats because it was a shocker for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, then when that wore off fast. So she also claimed, like you said, she dominated Vacker in a real fight, implying the current roster lacks real-world fighting capability. Fans on social media called her jealous.
Shit.
Yeah, fans on social media called her jealous. They pointed out her similar critiques against her own WWE push, and then people defended Vacker as a strong talent. In fact, it even goes on. She had even made comments about Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like what the fuck is wrong with her? You know, and then she calls the fans out for being fans of fake fighting and shit like that. You don't respect Roddy Piper like you said you did if you're saying that shit. That was his life, you know? And she made this whole big ordeal wearing his jacket to the ring and all this shit. You don't respect Roddy Piper, you know?
She got paid millions of dollars by these people. Millions.
Yeah. And she wasn't even that good.
No.
She had no idea how to tell a story. Her fucking outfits were, God, did you see her makeup back in the day, like for WrestleMania?
Yeah, she'd do the cat eyes, like the fucking weird things. You know? I never liked her. I never liked her as a fighter either. I always thought she was an asshole.
I did in the beginning. See, I was different. I liked her in the beginning. I thought she was I thought she was gonna handle this position better than she has. She is totally shit on everything. Her legacy in MMA and wrestling. She can't show her face in a fucking crowd without getting booed out of the fucking building. And it's with good reason. She's a fucking grimy ass, miserable bitch. You know?
She's real fucking she's really hateful to people.
She is.
You know?
She's worse than Bret Hart. And I love Bret Hart. I'm just saying, he's a bitter old fuck.
Yeah.
She's not even old and she's a bitter old fuck, you know?
Like, what did Stephanie Vacker do to her?
What did she do? She wasn't even in the locker room at the time that she was there.
Like, and it's funny, like you look at a girl like Stephanie Vacker and it's like, that's a story that people get behind on her. Here's the girl from Chile, didn't speak any fucking English, you know?
Yeah.
Has come over to this country, made great opportunities
Completely
for herself.
Took over the women's division.
Yeah. Beautiful, as marketable, you know, whatever they do with her, you know, she's knocked it out of the fucking park, you know? And you're going to pick on her? Or Alexa Bliss, who 99% of the people, you'll hear that
Alexa put Ronda over.
Yeah, and Alexa is like, everybody just, you know, thinks she's the nicest fucking human being in the world that they say about her all the time. The only person I've ever heard that didn't get along with Alexa Bliss was Sasha Banks, but that doesn't surprise me either. Oh, you know, there shows you right there.
I'm sure
she's an
Sasha
asshole.
And Ronda are great friends.
Yeah,
you know,
BFF buddies, man.
Until it came to one of them getting a title shot or something, and then they'd stab each other in the fucking back. You know?
Well, Natty and her are friends in real life, Lazo. So that tells you more about Natty Neidhart, you know, right there.
Natty's trying to steal Ronda's gimmick, you know, every time she cuts a fucking
Did they have a
promo.
feud or something too, you know, for like a minute?
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah, she's been stupid since Holly Holm kicked her eyes sideways. She's to keep her mouth shut before Natty chokes her out.
God. She's well deserving of the Goof of the Year award, straight up.
It's like, what did the UFC do to her? Dana White put her over.
He still puts her over to the fucking moon.
Yeah.
Still.
She's training for something, though. I think she wants to make a comeback.
There is a offer on the table that they're talking about. Dana White keeps denying it, but it's a legitimate thing that they want to do a mega super fight in boxing, which she'll get her fucking face mauled off by this individual. She wants to box Katie Taylor. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Katie Taylor.
They're trying to do a $200 million super fight in Saudi Arabia between Katie Taylor and Ronda Rousey.
Katie Taylor would kick the fucking snot out of her.
It would have to be something that they sign where it goes longer than a round, because Katie Taylor would knock her the fuck. It would be worse than Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul.
Yeah. Look at what happened every time Ronda stood up with somebody. That's why she took him to the ground and armbarred him.
Just go watch her fucking shadow boxing.
Yeah, she's horrible.
She
trained under that bum Edmund.
Edmund, yeah.
Yeah, from the Glendale Boxing Club or whatever the fuck it was.
Ugh.
You know, that
I'll
fucking
never forget
scammer.
the screams of him when Nunez was boxing her face off, and he's going, head movement, no, Ronda, no.
He saw his goddamn gravy train just going down the tube.
Dude, while you're doing that, you got to play the goof. You got to play the Don Fry thing. I'm going to find that sound clip real quick for us. It's fucking phenomenal.
Okay. Quit taking sports events to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Hold on.
No shit.
We'll give our goof of the week for we got to play in Don's honor for that. Hold on.
No, Mark Kerr's a fucking goof. He's a fucking goof.
Listen to this shit. I found it. That's all he kept saying. She was already getting knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Dude,
what an idiot.
So bad.
Yeah, she would knock her head clear off for sure. Layla Ali would have knocked her out too, for sure.
It's such a stupid ass fight that they're trying. And why on earth would you pay Ronda Rousey $100 million to box? You know, if you're gonna bring her in MMA. You know,
would it really sell out that much money though? Like,
no, she's lost all her star appeal. She got her face kicked off, and then she came back and made this whole thing about she was gonna whoop fucking Amanda Nunez's ass, and Nunez knocked her out within round 1.
She looks horrible though, too, for her age, in my opinion. I mean, I've never thought she was a pretty woman in any way, but
yeah,
like
I think she's pretty. I'm not going to take that away from her. She's pretty, but she's her inside of who she is makes her a very ugly person. You know. For sure. Anytime Ronda says anything in the news, we need to do that. Quiet, piggy.
She's just a mean, miserable human being.
Did Cyborg and Ronda fight ever? I don't think
they never did.
Yeah, I don't think they did. She would kill her. She would kill her in a fight.
Is Cyborg still fighting?
She's retiring this year.
Oh, okay.
I think she's doing BKFC once, and then she's retiring.
Boy, she's one. Her and Dana White never liked each other.
Fuck. You want to talk about a woman that's not pretty? She looks like she could be in the next Arnold Schwarzenegger film.
That motherfucker climbed the ugly tree, hit every fucking branch on the way down, climbed up that motherfucker again, and then fell down and hit it again. She's bad.
My god! You mix Botox with the damage she's taken from MMA, she looks like a fucking. Oh.
She's got to have a dong, bro. You know, like she's got.
If I was to bet anybody was like that in that fucking area,
she's got to have a dong, bro.
Yeah,
you know. I
don't know how she has a husband. I don't tend to be rude like this and say that about women, but
he got his fucking skull broken the last time he fought. I forget who it was, but he took
MVP.
He took that knee to the fucking head or whatever.
Yeah,
broke his
MVP
fucking skull.
knocked him out. Yep, caved his skull in, and then he rolled a Pokeball after him. He did, dude. He did.
What the fuck?
You didn't see that? He rolled a Pokeball and he said, "I caught me a cyborg."
One of our local teachers in town fought Ali when I was in high school. Yeah, that's the days when they had like nobody but Ali and the coal miner's daughter, Christy Martin or whatever.
Yeah, Cyborg fought Holly Holm, Laza. It wasn't Ronda.
Did Cyborg kill Holly Holm?
Mm-hmm. She beat her pretty bad.
Yeah. Did she? How many fights did Cyborg have in the UFC?
Not many. She only had 2 contracts, I think. Because she was in all the other fight organizations. Bellator was where she really cut her teeth. So
there was just nobody at that time, for her. Yeah. Didn't she fight Nunez?
She did fight Nunez. Nunez beat the brakes off of her, yeah.
Yeah. I think a few years earlier though, when she was in her prime, I think you would have seen a different story probably.
Well, you gotta understand, Cyborg was the originator of fighting in women's MMA. She was before Ronda, So she was doing it at a time when nobody would book women. So that gives you, she was one of the pioneers of it.
What did your boy Dana White do before we go to our main topic and our break for the night? What did your boy
Dana White, he could be fucking goof of the week too, man. He's in some hot fucking trouble as well with this antitrust lawsuit. The UFC and TKO thought this was over with when they gave him that $350 million judgment. With the antitrust lawsuit for UFC fighter pay and benefits and different things like that. Apparently, Dana White, and this is allegedly, so nobody's saying anything on here, and this is just for entertainment and in the interest of educational purposes. So no lawsuits here. You know what I mean? We're just telling you what we know and what we've read in the headlines. Apparently, Dana White had withheld evidence during that trial when they asked him to turn over his mobile devices. He only turned over a certain amount, and come to find out there was many other cell phones and things of that nature that he didn't hand over that contained a bunch of evidence on it that was actually destroyed, allegedly. So it looks like they're trying to get him for destruction and withholding evidence, which, could have some ramifications on Dana White individually, not it could be the UFC too, but Dana White mostly. He's being called to testify, I think, in February.
Yeah,
his
February.
court. So, this could be a huge thing. It could be a Vince McMahon like situation where he has to step down. Who knows? Because when you're in a federal court case like that and you withhold information and you go as far as if they can prove he destroyed it, it's going to look really bad on him.
What was the lawsuit over? It was like Kung Lee and a few other people, right?
It was actually more than that. It was a bunch of former UFC talent and current UFC talent. Right? Mark Hunt. There was a few people involved in that. And basically what they're trying to say is that the UFC has manipulated the pay scale where they've taken in, UFC is evaluated at like $8.6 billion now.
Yeah.
So the pay scale in sports as a whole, if you go look at what the UFC is taking in versus what they're paying out the fighters, they're paying them peanuts. And to some extent, that's true. You know what I mean? A lot of it, they don't disclose what they get from pay-per-view buys and stuff, but they're changing that model now. So all of this stuff is changing. But these fighters and stuff, they're pissed because they don't have health benefits when they get out, which, you're considered almost a contractor, much like WWE when you do the UFC stuff. So they don't provide you with health benefits. They take care of you while you're in. So if you get injured in a fight, something like that, like Sam Alvey, I've talked to personally on social media, he says they've taken care of him every single time that he's been hurt and stuff like that. So they're good about it while you're working for them. But in a situation like Don Fry and people that really laid the groundwork for the UFC and built it up, they're kind of left in the shadows a little bit, and they deal with the CTE and the damage and stuff that they took. And the pay scale is just not there, and that's a lot of what Jake Paul was saying. They're taking in billions of dollars on these guys' backs, and they're not paying them a fair wage. So they lost a lot of evidence. The lawsuit is basically, they're not treated fairly.
It was like $375 million they lost, right?
They got a judgment ruled of, I believe it was $350 million was the judgment, or $375. It was around there.
Mm-hmm.
So they thought that was because $375 million. When you and I hear that, that's a fuck ton of money, like generational wealth for probably 10 generations of our families.
Mm-hmm.
But to the UFC, when you're $8.6 billion up, $375 million is a slap on the wrist.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's nothing. So they thought they were away from this. And of course, people were bitching and moaning and kept a stink up about it. So they opened an investigation. They said, was all the evidence presented? And apparently it wasn't. And some of it was even deleted and destroyed. So allegedly. So,
it's always interesting to me about like when people sign contracts and then they know what they're signing and they know what they're going to make. And then they bitch about it and sue afterwards, or they have problems with it. Sometimes I have a problem with that.
I see it both ways though, because here's my thing. Like, okay, so I understand that the house is always going to win in that fashion. Like the UFC is always going to make an astronomical fuck ton of money compared to the fighters, and I understand that. But my thing is, you got boxers who aren't drawing flies to shit,
mm-hmm.
and they're going home with multi-million-dollar, sometimes $50-60 million, $100 million paydays. And you can't tell me that boxing is generating that much. Now, on the flip side of that, the UFC is generating billions, and
mm-hmm.
you've got your top earners bringing home $1 million, $2 million a fight. There's an issue with me with that, in the fact of a lot of these guys, there should be a level, like much like pro wrestling, there should be a leveling of the field of what they get paid based
mm-hmm.
on the spot on the card. Obviously, the lower end guys aren't going to get paid as much, but your main event guys, they're going out there and they're putting the company on their back, and they're taking them to new heights, like a Conor McGregor. Look how much he did for the UFC with his name. Colby Covington, all these guys that we've talked about, where they've kind of elevated the product. You could go down the list. John Jones. You go look at John Jones. He's looked at as the GOAT in the MMA community, and go look at the price tag that he fights for. It's nothing of what you would think it would be. You know, they turned him down for $20 million, and that's the GOAT of their industry. You know, John Jones. I mean, you would think $20 million. When I would think of John Jones and him fighting and stuff, I would think that's a reasonable number for John Jones to make, $20 million. He's getting maybe $2-3 million a fight. That's crazy to me, you know?
Yeah, I can see that too. It's just, to me, you know what you're signing for. You know, no matter what the value is, it's like, it would be like the workers at McDonald's. You know, McDonald's is making fucking $5 billion a year in profits or whatever it is. You know, the McDonald's workers are fucking pissed that they're, you know, only getting paid $15 an hour or whatever it is.
Well, it's like Walmart. Walmart's the same way.
Yeah. I mean, you know what you're getting into. So to me, that's kind of the thing sometimes. Does it suck when they pull a monopoly type move, which was what they do, you know, and they strong arm people and they don't pay them comparative? Yeah, I get it. But
my thing was with Brock Lesnar and Mark Hunt, the UFC had to have known that Brock was juicing before that fight. I'm kind of with Mark Hunt on that. Like they had to have fucking known. And because of all the promoting and the fact that it was UFC 200 and all that kind of stuff, they just went with it, you know, and he could have seriously got hurt doing that. So in that essence, I can understand. It doesn't teach you fighter IQ. You could be the most roided motherfucker up on planet Earth and not win a fight because you don't have fight IQ. But Brock did have that, you know? So I don't know. I kind of side with Mark Hunt on the Brock Lesnar issue.
Jeremy says about fighters getting royalties off merch with their name and image. So this is the bullshit move that they do now. You know, they've done this for a long time now, where they would have the Reebok kits. They still with Reebok? Is that who they're with now? You know,
they're with Venom.
Venom. Okay, so they sign these kits and then they pay the fighters based upon a certain amount of fights, you know, that they've had in the octagon. Everybody gets paid on this scale. This scale was such a fucking joke when
compared to what they used to get.
Yeah, you know, they were selling their own stuff. They were hustling and trying to make money, you know, getting that. And I liked when they did it that way, to be honest with you.
Me too. The banners were cool. The shorts were cool.
Yeah.
You know, you had all kinds of different things. You know, I remember that was one of the big issues with Francis Ngannou is he wanted to go outside for sponsorships. They wouldn't allow him to do it, you know. So that's kind of, you know, and then the thing with The Rock, like when the UFC brought The Rock's shoes in, that was the biggest thing about Nate Diaz he was pissed about, is when the fighters would wear The Rock's Project Rock shoes to the octagon. Usually with a sponsorship like that, you would get money for it. No, that's not how this one worked. The UFC got money for them wearing those shoes to the octagon.
But the fighters didn't.
Yeah.
See, that's horseshit, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's been done forever, you know, that they've done this type of stuff.
Well, I think, honestly, the UFC, they saw what kind of sponsorships these guys were going out and getting and the money that they were bringing in, and they looked at it as a way to put their thumb on the fighters even more, you know?
I miss the days of sponsorship on Fight. Sure, there was guys repping Condom Depot on their asses. Yeah, there was some selfless ones. And then when they put they would put the tattoos on their, you know, the on their body or whatever it was, you know, goldenpalace.com or whatever. You know, people would sell every inch that they could, no matter what it was, to do that. Affliction did have some nice shirts back in the day, and they made the biggest mistake in the world when they ran that MMA show. And
they did.
Just lost their fucking ass, man.
Tap Out did the same thing.
What happened to Tap Out?
WWE signed a deal with them, and then now they're just they're just a shit fucking.
It's like a Walmart brand, like fucking clothing now, right?
Yeah,
like you see in Walmart or something like that occasionally. Boy, they were the fucking hottest commodity of Affliction and Tap Out for a while, you know, and that shit took a.
Yeah, it did. I remember One More Round, Hitman Fight Gear. There was tons and tons of them.
I think they're coming back for another year. I don't follow them either, Laszlo.
What a shit decision that was, too.
There's only like 8 teams in the league or some shit.
And that's the XFL, right? I mean, that's...
Yeah, they merged with them to become the AFL or whatever. I've honestly, I've never watched a game, you know. I've never watched a game. I could give a fuck less, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to follow the NFL all year long. College football is always easy. It's the best. to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to watch the fucking AFL. I need a reset. It's baseball season for me at that point.
Sure.
If they make it another couple of years, I'd be blown away. UFL, there we go. Rabbi said starts back up in March.
The Ultimate Football League.
I remember when that dude fought Tyson and someone bought ad space on the soles of his shoes because they know he was getting knocked out. Was that Peter McNeely or when he came out of prison or something like that?
Jesus.
I remember the Peter McNeely fight when they announced it when Tyson was coming out of prison and they're like, he's fighting Peter McNeely, the journeyman Irish fighter. I'm like, yeah, this journeyman's fucking bum is going to get knocked out
He's
in about
gonna
a
get
minute.
knocked the fuck out. Yeah.
He got dropped on like the first hard shot that he fucking hit him with.
He sure did.
Yeah, I've never got in and watched the UFL or anything like that, Rabbi. Just it's one of those things. There's too much turmoil in it for me, and it just doesn't seem good enough.
Yeah, I don't think I could watch it either.
I like watching like minor league shit when they know it's minor league and they're not trying to portray themselves as something bigger than that. Football is one of those ones with minor league that's just not as entertaining to me.
I'll say this: the original old school arena football was cool to watch.
That was cool, yeah.
Other than that, nothing's come close to the NFL.
But the Arena Football League could never get off the ground. But it was like the fucking boards on the side and everything like that. The end zones were so tight.
Well,
I mean, I'm
people
not
would
gonna lie
always
and
get
say
fucking hurt.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie and say I watched a lot of the matches or anything or the games or whatever. But the clips I saw was always entertaining as fuck, man.
I think that's the only Arizona team that was consistently champions was the Arizona Rattlers out here.
The Rattlers.
Yeah.
Bring back the Arena Football League. Yeah, Joey's with you on that one too.
Yep.
I think the Rock's American Football League is called the United States Football League or something like that. Yeah, they should play it in high school stadiums. Yeah, the UFL like puts it in all these big stadiums, and they can only fit about 2,000 or 3,000 people in the
fucking
stands.
AEW.
Yeah, it's like AEW trying to sell out the fucking some massive arena for Dynamite. It just doesn't work.
But I'll never forget the original XFL when Jim Ross was on Raw every week going, now you got all these broadcasters trying to handicap us because we're going against the NFL. And it's like, no, the shit just sucks, Jim. Like,
yeah. It's the drizzling fucking shits, man.
Yeah.
I remember the only player from the XFL the original year I remember was He Hate Me.
He Hate Me.
Yeah. He had He Hate Me on his back of his jersey or something like that. I don't
Probably
really
an ex-convict that just got out of prison.
Oh yeah,
and finally got his chance.
They had Tommy Maddox too, the journeyman quarterback that the Steelers had for a while. Tommy Maddox, I remember.
Tommy Maddox
too. They were paying those dudes with fucking hot dogs and cold beer, man.
Yeah.
If they were a real big star like He Hate Me, man, they got 2 hot dogs.
Yeah. 2 hot dogs and dental.
Yeah, dental's only for the real big legendary stars. It's for the Mark Henrys of the promotion, the real true trendsetters.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be our main event tonight. We're going to do the most impactful title reigns. Next week, we're going to do for the Sunday show. We'll because we're not going to have a show on Wednesday, but I mentioned it to Rich today, and Jeremy gave me a good idea for it. I like it too because Royal Rumble was my favorite. So we're going to do favorite Royal Rumble moments. It doesn't have to be the match or anything like that, but favorite Royal Rumble moments will be next week. But think about your most impactful title reigns. I'm interested to hear some people's opinions on this one, on who they're going to bring out as the most impactful title reigns. So no real criteria on it, just why you think it was an impactful run that they had. And there's been a ton throughout wrestling history. So bring your opinions. We want to hear them. The St. Louis Battlehawks are the only marketable team in the league. They bring 45,000. That's impressive, but St. Louis is a sports city too. So AEW had to move from Suncorp Stadium to the Brisbane Entertainment Center due to lack of crowds. Jesus.
God.
Man, yeah, that's not good for them. But when we come back from the break, guys, once again, most impactful title reigns. So think of some of the ones that you think are the greatest title reigns ever, and we'll discuss them after the break. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in about 5 to 10. All right, guys, we are back. We are back. We are back. 1 second, I'll take the banner off. All right, there we go. All right. You know what I was thinking of? Just during the break. You know what we never do? We never ever do a watch party for a fucking PLE.
We need to do it.
We do. This year, we got to do one. Maybe one night of WrestleMania or something. We'll do it this year.
Well, we know we're going to be having a watch along of our fucking Vegas trip. I'll tell you that. We're gonna do a live stream on that you guys will be included in. So we'll see what happens there.
See if Frank the Tank comes out.
Oh, absolutely.
See if you can bring him out of retirement.
I think you'll come out of retirement on your own. I don't think I'll pull any strings.
I will. It won't be that hard. Jesus. I don't have a laptop anymore. I just have a big PC. So we might have to do something with a little, cell phone or something like that.
Yeah, go over there and follow our TikTok. We can go live on mine or go live on yours, one or the other.
Yeah, I actually have live access now on mine. I don't have the stream key yet for enough people on TikTok, but you have to have like a stream key because you have to have a certain amount of followers. But we just got live access granted. I just have to figure it out, a little bit. Like I think there's a way to not actually because we don't have the stream key, so I don't think we can put it in StreamYard yet. But yeah, we'll do something for sure. We'll do something. Mm-hmm. But I really want to do a watch party this year to one of the PLEs.
For sure.
We've never
Royal
done
Royal Rumble and Mania would be fun.
Yeah, maybe Mania. My buddy always comes over for the Rumble, and because it's like my favorite one that I just love. He always comes over for the Rumble, but for WrestleMania, I could definitely say maybe let's.
We could also do it for the UFC. Paramount's first.
I want to do more of the watch parties this year too. It's honestly something that will help grow our presence, I think, too, on YouTube for lives. So.
National Lampoon's Wrestling with Reality Vegas Vacation. I fucking love it.
It's gonna be bad.
I love it.
It's gonna be bad, man.
Rabbi AEW PLE is probably not gonna find its way.
No, we tried to do
Dynamite,
and I wanted to quit like 3 times during the show. You guys kept talking me into staying. I'm like, I gotta fucking leave. This is so bad, man. I was like, I just can't even try to make this entertaining, you know. And you guys convinced me to stick it out on that one. So
fuck that.
Yeah, no, fuck that. But I think like a big PLE.
Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that, man. But a regular like WWE PLE, like a good one, I could definitely get behind.
Yeah.
It really.
Not doing no Bash in Berlin or anything like that, but.
No, you notice the Juggalos.
Juggalo PLE I would do.
Well, you notice they're not on a weekly basis here on Sundays anymore. It's not that we're against them in any way, or we didn't think that they were. Have some room for potential at least. It's just, it's not one I could do on a frequent basis. But if they had a PLE where they had Cocaine versus Big Vito in the main event or something like that, maybe I'll do that.
Well, shout out to Violent J. He's actually dealing with some health issues too. He hasn't shown up to the past 2 lunacies. So,
and his wife just got pregnant, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. He's dealing with something with his heart though. So
yeah, I like Jay, man. He seems like a really nice guy.
Yep.
He seems like a really good dude, man, in real life, and takes care of a lot of people.
Jeremy, I was just watching a video while we were on break about that.
We're doing it.
You can actually pay a couple bucks to do the. Well, he's talking about the zip line that goes down the strat. We're doing the strat where you do the fucking bungee jump from the 826-foot skyscraper.
Yeah, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna get the extra. What did you say, $50 extra each or something?
Yeah, and then you get a camera to go with you.
Yeah, because there ain't no way I'm taking my brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max on that shit. That
No.
What do they charge us? $1,500 or more for those things right now?
Yeah.
There's no way I'm taking my fucking cell phone down when I'm jumping off a fucking 830-foot thing. That ain't gonna happen.
No.
I'm spending the $50 fucking dollars and going all out.
It's gonna be a once in a lifetime experience,
dude. I don't fucking know how I'm gonna get the fucking balls to jump off that. I bungee jumped before, but it wasn't like that.
830 feet in the fucking air, man. It's not too much smaller than the trade centers were. So
it's a small jump, bro. It's a hell of a fucking task ahead of us, man.
It's gonna be bad.
I'm telling you right now, because you already told me I'm
not gonna fucking, dude. I just pray we don't Owen Hart it, bro.
No. Got a lot to look forward to this year. Okay. got a lot to look forward to. Just make it easy, you know. Like,
Yeah.
well, if we don't, I'm not the full racer. I'm not jumping without fucking 9 of those things hooked up on me or whatever they put. What they put 3?
They hook you up with let's see, one here, one here, one here. I think it's 3 or 4.
Jesus,
Free falling all the way down.
Stupid,
Fuck
man.
that.
Are we? You know,
Yeah,
saying free falling on the way down.
we're like that fucking movie Wild Hogs, dude.
Yeah, a couple old men that think that they still got youth in them.
Yeah.
You know, you asked me this week. I think it was you asked me. You said, "Would you skydive?" And I said, "Yeah, I would, but I can't." What was the reason? Do you remember? I told you I couldn't skydive.
Your knees.
Because my knees will explode because of all my injuries. That's when you know you're an old fucking wild hogs motherfucking guy, man. Like from that movie, when you're jumping off of something and you have to realize, like, I'd love to skydive. It'd be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
My knees will blow and shatter when I do it. At least with this method right here, you don't have the hard landing. Because that's what I said to you when you brought it up to me. I hadn't seen it yet, and you said, "Oh, check out the Strat bungee jump or whatever." And I'm like, dude, I don't think my fucking legs, if you hit hard going down, you know, I don't know how they do it. And you're like, "No, you'll be fine." And I'm like, Jesus. Dude. When you have to factor that type of shit in, you know you're getting old.
It's gonna be wild when you get up there and fucking stand on that platform to go. Like,
you're making me go first too, because you already said you're not going to do it first.
Dude, that's it's like that initial, like once you let yourself go, there's no going back, so you're good. But it's that initial fright of like standing there looking out and how high you're up. If you can get past that, you're good. You know.
I don't know if I can anymore at my age, bro.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna do it, I have to go first off, because
if you watch me do it, it's gonna freak you the fuck out.
It's gonna make me want to shit my pants either way, man. Yeah. You know, like I'm gonna have to hit the bathroom a few times before we go, just to make sure my fucking colon's cleaned out. You know,
it's gonna be interesting. And then going up the needle is an experience too. It's a rocket ship up the needle, and that's even higher than that. You know, so
Jesus Christ, come on, man. Play Jeff Hardy's music before you jump.
Dude, we got to do the fucking thing. Oh, that would be funny.
Yeah. Fuck, man. I get clammy just thinking about it.
Now we got to fucking do it.
I know. I get clammy just thinking about it, you know? Just thinking about the whole fucking thing just to do it. Like I said, when I was younger, man, I'd do anything, man. I didn't give a shit. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. This will put some hair on your ass. That's
when I bungee jumped, I told you this story. I don't think I've ever told it on the air, but when I bungee jumped, it was in Texas, down in Arlington. I think they were it just gone up, or they were building it. Was the Dallas Cowboys Stadium that they got now. So we were in Arlington, and this was in 2006, if I remember correctly. And we go to this fucking like crazy park they had the slingshot that shoots you up. They had the fucking bungee jump. They had zero gravity and all that stuff. You know, it was about a 300, 400, 500 foot drop. It was fucking high. It wasn't like 800. I'd say 300 to 400 probably. And I had paid my money, and you know me, how conservative, fiscally responsible I'll say that, you know, or cheap, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
You know, how fiscally responsible I am.
We got yarmulkes the size of rabbis, you know.
Seriously. So I'm not going to piss my money away no matter what, you know. And I think
we got to do a superhuman before we jump.
Yes. Super Richie, super John right here. Oh, the jugglers and jugglers.
Dude, that would go viral.
This at home, or you're going to die like us.
That would go viral, bro.
Bro, it'd be terrible, man. That'd be awesome.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's cool, dude. So I paid like $50 or something for the thing, and nobody else would go, you know, and nobody going up this motherfucker at all, you know. And then they raise you up, or you might have to climb. I don't remember. You get up there, and it's like I said, several hundred feet in the air, 300, 400, 500 feet, whatever. I get up there, bro. I could not bring myself to jump. Like I just could not do it. And they had this game where you jump. They had a flag across the way, so they tell you to jump as far as you can to see if you could touch the flag. That was really hard. And I'm like, they kept saying that to me. I'm like, fuck you, man. I was like, fuck you, you know. I was like, I can't even fucking just lean over right now and just step off.
You're gonna do that up on the fucking strap, bro.
Fuck you. I'm like, no, I am not fucking leaping out and doing that. I was like, that is not gonna happen. And like, you know, you got to do it.
Dude, this is so gonna be bad.
Yeah, fuck you. I am not doing that. And then I remember the kid that was up there, probably the college kid or something like that. And I said, dude, I ain't fucking doing this. I stood up there for about 3 or 4 minutes and I just couldn't do it. And I looked at the kid and I said, I'm not fucking doing this. And I was like, it's not happening. I said, I'm going to go downstairs and, go to the front desk. Is that where I get my refund? And they go, you don't get a refund. And I said, what? And they said, it's you jump for the money. If you don't jump, it's on you. You lose the money. And I'm like, I'm just fucking flabbergasted at this point. And I'm just like, funny. And I'm like, what? I was like, I didn't do it. No,
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. And they're like, you either jump or you step down and you don't get your money back. Either way, you're out $50 if you don't do it, or you get your experience for that.
$50 to risk your life.
Pretty much, man. But this is the logic of a 24-year-old, because I was 24 at the time. And then when I realized I wasn't getting my money back, I just said, well, if you can't fucking beat them, join them. And I leaped, bro, and I got that fucking flag too. Bro, I leaped like you would just fucking awesome. Jumping to my death, like this. And I leaped down there and I fucking whacked that flag
for
bro.
$50.
$50 fucking dollars, man. $50 fucking dollars for that. And the whole way down, bro, I fucking screamed obscenities.
Dude, that's so funny.
My wife at the time, her aunt was with us, who was older. I get down, and the fucking first thing she says to me, and she goes, "You have a bad mouth, John." And
she's like that guy when fucking Chubbs Peterson dies when he shoots his head.
God. All over $50.
Jesus. That's awesome, dude.
Bro, it was so scary, though. It was so scary, And it's like, just looking over the edge of that thing. But you could get hooked on at this point with, like, this is real bungee jumping. You'd get hooked either on your ankles, around your ankles, or they'd hook you on your waist. So, the first thing that comes to my mind is like, fucking ankles, like you're hauling me on this, and this is the way I'm gonna do it. I'm like, I'm gonna dangle and it's just gonna fucking snap on me, and I go fucking face first in there. So I tell the girl, she goes, where you want to be hooked up? Your ankles or whatever. And I said, what hurts less? And she said, they say the ankles hurts less. And I said, yeah, until that thing snaps and you go face forward and you're dead, man. And I said, at least if I fucking hooked up to the waist of it, man, I got a shot just to break all my fucking legs.
It just cracks me up because you're like, I paid $50 for this shit. Fuck my life. I'm gonna go jump.
What's it cost to go up to the top of the strat? A couple $100?
I think it's so it's $100 without the camera. It's $150 with it.
Okay, so you can guarantee one thing: if I pay for this,
that's fucking triple.
If I fucking pay for this,
I'm fucking jumping.
You ain't getting chicken. I'm not gonna chicken out if I get to the top and I've already paid for the fucker. All right.
Yeah.
Like, if you see me pay for it, you can know within certainty in yourself
that you're going.
That I am fucking going, because there is no way, even with as much money as I have, and it's easy for me now in life, and $150 isn't a lot of money to me. I am not fucking wasting $150 fucking dollars. My cheap ass, is not doing it. All right. 150 is not that big of a deal, but I ain't fucking wasting that money. I'm jumping, bro.
Jumping off of skyscrapers.
Legit. Didn't you chicken out when you got up there or something?
The first time I did, and it was because I did pay the fucking deposit. I paid the deposit, got in the suit. They hand you this Mountain Dew fucking jumpsuit, and you get in the shit and the harness and everything like that, and they hand you a shot of Mountain Dew with whiskey in it. Fucking watch that shit, and I was like, can I sit in the observation window so I can watch the guy? And they're like, yeah. And that was the worst mistake I made. I should have just got in the suit, got the harness on, took the shot, and went. If I would have done that, I would have went. But I was like, I just want to do an observation, watch the guy jump. They're like, all right. And it was a heavy set black dude. And so he gets in it and he's all excited and shit like that. So he goes and he runs and jumps off. And fucking as he's falling, all of a sudden you watch him and he goes limp. He passed out on the way down. So they had to catch him, Fucking I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not doing that,
Fucking passes out on the way down, bro.
They had the camera footage of it too. He literally went limp and was like this, the whole way down.
It's like that slingshot fucking ride that people have. Like, have you ever done that?
No, I've seen tons of videos of it, never done it.
Dude, I want no part of that, man. Like my
Bro, I'm
daughter's
telling
done it.
you, the craziest shit I've done is being shot up that needle on the stratosphere.
Uh-huh.
The G-force in that pool of just being shot up, you can't even take a deep breath in. But I will tell you, it is the most beautiful fucking view, day or night, that you will ever get on this planet, dude.
As long as you don't pass out on the way up.
Yeah, it's fucking gorgeous. Like,
what the fuck?
yeah.
What do we do? Fuck you.
Yeah, you're gonna be saying that to me, not them.
Well, go fuck yourself, man. You want to do this, all right? I got everything to look forward to, man.
Yep, me too.
Well, the fucking experience is always worth it, man.
That's right.
It's not like we haven't done dumber shit
shit
in life, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I put my life on the line for 6 fucking years in my first enlistment. Instead of signing 4 years, I fucking signed on for 6 for $2,000. That's when that's when you know you don't make good decisions all the time.
Yeah, no shit.
We realize we're asses, all right?
Yeah.
Well, irregardless.
We're
There
gonna
will
have
be
fun.
footage of it if we do, because we will we will get the little camera.
Yeah, for sure.
I put the link out in the chat if you guys want to come on. Just copy paste it, come on in. We'll let you in eventually into the back room. So if you want to come on, please feel free. If not, type in what you like in the chat. It's no problem at all. Whatever you like. Whatever's easiest for you, I threw it out there just in case. But let's look at most impactful title reigns in professional wrestling history. Richie, this is your topic, your pick. I thought it was a great one. I'm surprised we have never done this in all the years we've done shows, but I looked through the complete library and I have never seen us do this unless I'm missing something. So I'm gonna let you start because this is your topic, man. Give me one of your most impactful title runs.
Well, if you know, I think impactful can be negative or positive, but I'm going to start off with a positive one. I think that's the best way to do it, and that's you got to go with Bruno Sammartino. And this is a guy that I didn't get to watch a lot of his stuff, but I don't think Bruno gets enough love and recognition for what he really did, because that was back before the WWF. That was actually the WWF.
Mm-hmm.
And his name actually legitimized that company. He was the big draw for them. So Bruno Sammartino was like the big bruiser type character, the brawler, and he really legitimized the wrestling business. So if you're talking about most impactful, you have to go back to the foundation of WWF, which was the WWF, and Bruno Sammartino being their biggest draw and their biggest champion at the time. You got to recognize him, man.
He was the king of MSG, and he made stars in this time frame. His title reigns. The first one is unmatched and will never be touched again. We all know this is never going to be touched again. But his his second longest one was 1,237 days. That was his second reign that he had.
What was his longest one?
His longest one was his one that you're referring to, and it was 2,803 days.
Yep.
Isn't that insane, bro?
It's fucking wild.
It's like 7 years or so.
How long did Roman hold it for?
Roman held it for 1,300 days.
1,300.
Yeah.
So he came close.
He beat the second one of Sammartino, but he ain't ever touching the 2,803 day one.
I don't think WWE will ever believe in someone that long.
I don't think so either. I don't think he can. I mean,
and I don't think the crowd has the attention span to even follow that long now.
You know why it worked though for Sammartino and shit like that at the time? The reason why it worked so much for him is because they were a traveling show, and they were.
It was still a circus type thing where people didn't know if it was legit or not.
Yeah, even though they had television stuff, the thing was, the allure of them was the live events and the circus atmosphere, like you mentioned. They traveled from town to town. People wanted to see Bruno. They heard the legend of him. So if Bruno was up in those northern states that the WWF had, and later WWF had. Bruno was a god around there. And
Bruno's like the Babe Ruth of fucking wrestling. Man.
He really is, And I honestly don't think we've ever talked about Bruno Sammartino through the years here on the show either.
No.
I don't know a lot about him. I'm not gonna lie and say I do and tell you a fib that I was a fan of Bruno and I know anything about him. I know the basics like you do, man. Had long title reigns, was the king of that area. I believe people say he was like the king of MSG at Madison Square Garden. He has the most sellouts or something. Doesn't he have the most sellouts in MSG history?
I think he did. I don't know if he still holds the record, but he definitely did for that time frame.
Yeah. I mean, you got to figure he was in there all the time. And anytime they had big, feuds for him, or people they wanted to get over to the next level, Bruno you were made by working with them. Like later on for other stars, you were made by working with them. So I think that's a great one, man. You can't have impactful title runs, title reigns without mentioning Bruno Sammartino. And I'll throw you one for the opposite gender and for women's wrestling in general. But I'm not saying I'm a fan of her. And once again, I'm not telling you I know a lot about her because I don't. And she's way before my time. But you have to think of, when you think of most impactful title reigns, irregardless of the smaller level of competition for the women, especially at this time, it's got to be the fabulous Moolah. You got to throw her in there. I mean, Moolah was wrestling into her fucking 80s or some shit. She was 50 years or something like that in the business plus. And I don't remember how long her title reign was, but it was like 25 years or 30 years or some shit she held that for. Wasn't it, Richie?
Something stupid like that. Fabulous Moolah to me. She had to have had something over somebody in WWF for as long as she had it and stuff like that, and all the controversy she was involved in. But as far as impactful title reigns, I'll say that, yeah, she was definitely impactful, and she was definitely involved behind the scenes and stuff like that, and brought up a lot of women talent in some suggestive ways, but nonetheless, she was definitely a pioneer of the women's division for sure.
I mean, the one thing that I've heard about her through the years is that she basically took the girls that she trained, took most all their money, and basically kind of pimped them out. Yeah, she pimped them out. And some people loved working with Moolah and made a lot of money with it, but always had said that Moolah was the one that benefited the most from everything. And if she helped you get her foot in the door in the business, she was the only real woman that had that big star appeal that could get women a guaranteed spot for them if Moolah would have vouched for them. So people kissed her ass because of that. But Moolah had a hell of a run, man. Long time, and was the pioneer of women's wrestling, for sure. Let's go to the audience here. Let's see what we got first. I'll start first with Jeremy. Jeremy, give me one of yours. Jeremy? How's it going, buddy? Merry Christmas.
Fellas.
What's up, brother? Give me one of yours.
Almost Happy New Year.
Almost, yes. I bet you got a good one. Give me one of your most impactful title reigns.
I'm going with the first title run of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Boom. Good pick.
Why are you going with that one?
Think about what if the curtain call happened? What if he was never put in that situation to win King of the Ring? Because even after the King of the Ring, he established himself as Steve Austin. Maybe he was still winning to the point where Undertaker was even thinking about leaving. If they wouldn't let Steve Austin be himself, who's to say that WCW wouldn't be in business today and WWF would be dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, Triple H was handpicked to win that year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Could you imagine the difference of today, what it would have been? I don't think that I think Steve Austin, when he came onto the scene, was the real fire that was lit under Vince McMahon's ass, that he thought he can compete finally when he found the commodity that was Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I think once he found it in himself and had the confidence in himself to go out there and be the heel, the monster heel that he was, and the epic story that followed that, I think the whole house of cards falls without that single moment in history. So I think you're absolutely right.
I mean, because think about it, they gave that character of something that could be relatable to any male out there that he wasn't a fan of wrestling. Like, who's never thought about one day just clocking into work and beating the crap out of their boss?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't think WWE would be in business today if it wasn't for Austin, to be honest with you.
That's why it's hard for me when people start saying, who was the bigger superstar, The Rock or Austin, or who was the bigger impact? Was it, Hogan or Austin or whatever? Hogan put WWE on the map and stuff like that, but Austin was single-handedly, in my opinion, responsible for them overtaking WCW and taking them to a global empire. I think that was the first megastar that transcended wrestling besides Hulk Hogan. Next to that, I think they're two different levels. I think in the beginning, Hogan was the foundation, and then Austin was the solidifier.
It's a good point, but I gotta make a rebuttal to that in a sense too. This is why I think Hogan's the bigger legend, of course, and did more for the business for impact on it than Austin did. Hogan did it for so long. He did it for a much longer period of
He
time.
did it for both sides too.
That was my next point.
I'll play devil's advocate. He did it for both sides.
That was my next. That was my main point right there. You got it 100%. He held it for a huge, large amount of time, and also had a large run with it too. Hogan did it not just for WWF, but he did it for WCW, and he did it as a babyface, and he did it as a heel.
As a heel.
That's why I got to go with Hogan being the real one for that, because how many people could you say turned the business upside down to the level?
Twice.
Yeah, twice. And did it with different promotions. And WCW
after
was on
the big,
and
after the big chief, Vince McMahon wrote him off and basically told him he was done.
Washed up.
Washed up and
New
went
stars.
over there, reinvented himself, and the rest is history with that. I mean, you're onto something there. I just, when you think about it though, as far as the WWF side of things, I think on the WWF side that Austin had more of an impact than Hogan's red and yellow run originally.
It's
as a whole, as a wrestling career as a whole, you can't compare the two. I think Hogan obviously outdoes Austin in that, but WWF as a whole, I think Austin is better.
It's a very fair comparison though, with Austin and him and the WWF side of things, what they both did. It's really, to me, it's kind of like a throw it up in the air and see who gets it type of one, because it could go either way for both of those guys for their impacts.
It's honestly, it's just like comparing apples to oranges. I mean, the Hulkamania was it centered around the childlike superhero. Say your prayers, take your vitamins, and so on. Where Steve Austin was more to the average American male.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my thing is too is Wangland got to ride the whole roller coaster of Hulkamania into the heel, Hollywood Hogan, and then still flip into being an NWO fan and all that kind of stuff to come back. He got to see the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see it from NWO Hogan on. I didn't get to see red and yellow. So, I mean, it's just a difference of generation of fan too, I got to see all of Austin's roller coaster ride versus only a partial of Hogan's. Maybe if I was a fan from red and yellow all the way on, I'd feel the same way,
Which, and Hulk Hogan was the reason I got into wrestling, in the late 80s and stuff.
Sure.
And then once WCW got their deal with Turner and everything, and me being from Georgia, being WCW territory, I go in there and I see Sting. I'm like, who's this guy? I forget all about Hulk.
Yep.
Sure.
Good pick, Jeremy. Love this. Love your choice for Impact. And title reigns for Austin's first one, man. You can't deny that it's one of the most impactful ones of all time.
Sure.
Might not have the length of others, but you cannot deny what it did for the business. Great pick, Jeremy. Thanks for coming on tonight, brother.
Hey, yes, sir. Hey, and another thing you need to do when you go to jump, you remember the movie Grown Ups?
Yep.
You need to be like Wiley and say, I'm an animal.
I'm an animal.
I'm an animal.
I love it. I think I'll be saying much more foul things than that, Jeremy.
Well, we're going to post it the day we do it, man. So
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
All right, Jeremy. Thanks for coming on, brother.
All right, see you guys.
See you, buddy. All right, Joey, what you got, my friend? How's it going tonight, dude?
I'm all right. Just sitting at work. How are y'all tonight?
Oh,
good, man.
Well, buddy. Doing
Seems
well.
like you got a little nice office there.
Yeah.
Oh, God. The knocking on it never stops. So,
I got it.
These people just follow me to the...
You're an important man.
Yeah. I wish.
So what do you got, Joey, man? Give us one of your most impactful title reigns.
Okay, so I actually have two. They kind of bookend each other, and they're actually negative ones. I'm going to say Kevin Nash's first WCW title reign.
I completely agree and was going to say that tonight. Yep.
And because of what happened, it pretty much turned the tide for good because of what Tony Schiavone said, and plus it devalued the WCW title
absolutely
to where it just never came back from. And the other one was David Arquette's. It put the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, it did.
It destroyed what little credibility the belt had after that. So,
those are two great ones. The Kevin Nash one I was going to say tonight. That's a huge one when you think of the grand scheme of things, because WCW was riding an all-time high all of a sudden that storyline happens with the Wolfpack, and then Nash gets the title, and things go to shit shortly thereafter. So,
fucking finger poke of doom, man.
And it's crazy because the slow build on that storyline was so long. I remember when NWO Black and White started feuding, and they had that moment in the ring where Macho Man was going after Bischoff and didn't trust him. And then you had Nash cutting the promo on Hogan where he's saying, you know, I see you staring your eyes right through me, big man. So they told that story for a long time. They just didn't build it up right. You know, they didn't finish it right. They built it up right. They didn't finish it correctly.
And plus, like in the fall, they had this whole storyline of Nash's journey to the title. So he won World War III. He was beating guys like rats, saying, "Oh, I can beat undefeated streaks too," and everything. So so it just kind of took the luster out of everything. Plus the cheap finish it had at Starrcade as well with the cattle prod and everything. So
you know, it kind of reminds me of excuse me. It kind of reminds me when Daniel Bryan had his moment, you know, to shine or whatever, and they tried to jam Batista down our throat. And it's like, you know, Goldberg was the guy at the time that the crowd was choosing. And then Nash was taking over booking, so he jammed himself down the crowd's throat, and they didn't want it, you know?
Nope, they did not. So, and then Nash, and then on these shoot interviews, Nash was saying, well, if you go back, like they're chanting for Nash and they're like starting to boo Goldberg. I'm like,
I never heard that.
I never heard that either. So.
I'm not a huge Goldberg fan, but that's total bullshit. And I like Nash a lot, you know, but that's total bullshit.
Yeah. So, I mean, hindsight being 2020, maybe they thought it was a good idea. Maybe now they know it's a bad idea. So, but it was just a lot of like egos. Hogan wanting the belt back. Nash, I don't know what Nash was thinking. So
he was thinking about the Benjamins. He wanted that money.
Yeah. So and plus
that's all Nash has ever thought about.
Yeah, you know? He's open about it.
And all it did was give way to another convoluted NWO reunion. So, but
sure did.
Good picks, dude.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Well, I better get back to work, so I got to get out of here. So,
all right, buddy.
Man.
Thanks for coming on, Joey.
No problem. Have a good night.
Yep, we'll see you, brother. Yep. These guys are picking good ones, man.
Yeah, they are. That was one I was going to mention in when I brought up the negative impact. That was actually the one, you know, and I couldn't agree more. That killed WCW, and I hate to say that because I love Kevin Nash so much, but you know that whole storyline really shifted the tide. So,
give me another one for you.
Oh man, you know, as much as I hate to say it because I'm not a huge fan of the guy, you have to recognize the impact of him as a person to the wrestling business and stuff like that. And it's somebody that shouldn't be on Cameo anymore. I don't know if you saw the fallout from this, but the Nature Boy Ric Flair, 22 times he says he was champion, 18 times, 16 time, whatever you want to fucking call it, you know. One of the greatest to ever live in wrestling is what everybody says. I tend to believe on the side of things that if you watch one Ric Flair match, you've seen them all, besides the exception to the rule, which is the Shawn Michaels match. But yeah, you know, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, you have to, for the 80s time frame, he was the guy, you know. Some of the WCW stuff was monumental. Later on, his WWE run was great and comedic and stuff like that. Really stained his legacy, I feel like, in TNA and thereon after. But yeah, man, you got to recognize the impact he had in the 80s. He was the jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing son of a gun that put a lot of the territories on the map to begin with. So NWA champion, WWF champion, WCW champion. It didn't matter. The Nature Boy, he was the real deal.
When he came over, it was so huge when he came over to WWF. 91 or 10, I think it was 91.
91.
Yeah. And I remember as a kid, you know, I'd been a big fan for about 4 years at that point. And I had never seen Ric Flair matches or anything like that, but I used to get all the Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazines and you'd read about them all. And so I knew a lot about him from what I was reading in the magazines when they would come out every month. When he came over and wrestled, you know, and ended up winning that title after the Royal Rumble, there's no denying how big of a moment that was for wrestling, because here's the biggest star in wrestling that's not Hulk Hogan at this time. That one guy that was actually giving huge competition to Vince at certain points, and Vince just got both him and Hogan over, you know, and on the same card. Never understand why they didn't go with it right off the bat, but they didn't, and that's whatever. But Rick's title run, for Vince to give the guy that was his biggest competitor, for his biggest star, for Vince to give him a title run shortly after he comes over there, win the Royal Rumble,
That's a
match.
huge deal.
It's huge, like it's a big deal. Like
Yeah.
that's a big deal in regards to it, because Vince never in a million years was going to put somebody over like that at that time, because
Sure.
Vince has always been very tribalistic, in my opinion. Homegrown talents that were there for him, or people that he helped build, those were the ones that Vince always wanted. He never wanted
Absolutely.
people from outside, typically. Dusty Rhodes is another example of somebody he didn't see the value in and did the same thing to him.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Look at him in the later years. Now everybody loves him,
Yeah, absolutely, man. Rick versus Steamboat's one of the greatest rivalries in wrestling. It's phenomenal.
Yep.
Anybody that's never seen the matches, go check them out. Rabbi, this moment of him winning the title was huge too, because Rick dropped it to him, and I know it didn't last long, and I know Kerry was in a rough spot, but what a big thing that was for Rick to drop it to Kerry Von Erich, the world-class champion.
We actually watched that on one of the episodes back in the day.
Yeah, I remember that now. You're right. I think it's a pretty long match, if I remember right. It's like 20, 30 minutes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this was, if I remember correctly, because I love the Von Erichs, I love the Von Erichs.
I think it was at the Texas
Stadium, I believe.
Yeah.
And
Sportatorium, I think.
I don't think it was a Sportatorium. I think it was somewhere bigger that they would run down there, if I remember when they did it. But
I remember Ric Flair had women all over him going to the ring.
Yeah. And if I remember too, this was right after Kerry's accident, shortly after his accident, or it might have been maybe before. It might have been before, if I remember. Actually, I think. You guys tell me if I'm wrong, because I remember
Texas Stadium.
Okay. Yep. Was it? Can you guys Rabbi? You seem like an old school fan. If you mentioned Kerry Von Erich.
Yeah, rewind.
Yeah. Sorry. Rewind. Somebody go check this for me. Was Kerry winning the title? Was it before or after his accident? I think actually it was before, but could be wrong. But Kerry was a huge fucking star, man. People loved Kerry Von Erich, and for him to beat Ric Flair, that was a huge one. So, Good pick. Said it was after David died. Okay, so I know he was in a really bad spot at that moment, and it was before. Okay, yep, there we go. Kerry's career after that is that accident, I think, is what really ended.
It did, man.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine that fucking guy wrestled without a fucking foot?
And it's not like Zach Gowen wrestled. He actually stood on it,
And nobody knew. But
nobody knew.
You got to be a tough son of a
bitch. Yeah.
Jesus.
To fight on a peg leg like that? Yeah, fuck that.
You got to be. All right, I'll give you another one of mine. You got to go with CM Punk's 434-day title reign. Yes. WWE was really hot potatoing a lot often.
Well, and they were the drizzling shits at the time with the celebrity guest appearances on Raw every week. And it got so bad that we quit watching wrestling. That's what switched us into the retro stuff, because we got so tired of it.
Yeah. And Punk was one of the only decent parts around some of the, around that end of his run there, when he had that long run before The Rock beat him. So that would have been about 2014-ish, This run was a huge thing for him. And it also brought out so The Rock could win it and have that match with John Cena and kind of change the business a lot at that time. And CM Punk was one of the best things on television at that moment, the things that he was doing, his alliance with Paul Heyman. So I got to throw his 434-day title reign in there. People don't realize how big of a run it was at that point, and about how abnormal it was to how they had been booking titles for so long. They never held on long to people.
Yeah, and I think it was really disrespectful, how they booked the end of that run too, because they had The Rock come in there straight from Hollywood, and you could tell CM Punk carried him that whole match at that Royal Rumble, and for The Rock to go over on him like that was hot garbage to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me another one for you, Richie. What's
well, speaking of The Rock, I'm not talking about his later years, but definitely he added an element to the Vince McMahon storyline that was much needed, because Stone Cold needed a solid adversary that he could have in the ring constantly that worked for Vince McMahon. So I think the genius storyline was when they were building Mick Foley up to win the title for the corporation. And it looked like Vince had all but handpicked Mick Foley to be the guy. And then you have the surprise in the end where The Rock does the chair shot to Mick Foley and screws him over and wins the title in the Survivor Series. And then you had the Shane McMahon fallout and all that stuff. So I think The Rock, his first championship reign, where he was the youngest championship winner in WWE history, or WWF at the time, was the most impactful for Stone Cold Steve Austin's legacy, because it added another element. It added a competitor. Because if you kept telling the same storyline with Vince McMahon over and over again and had Austin versus Vince in the ring every time, you were going to get shit matches. So Vince was genius in the fact that he had The Rock go in there, who was very talented in the ring and can hold his own with Austin. And they told an amazing storyline that added a whole new leg of storylines and months longer shit, where they also played off the Intercontinental title, where Austin, before he won the title from Shawn Michaels, where they threw it in the lake and all that stuff, they did the same thing with the Smoke and Skull belt. So for me, The Rock's corporation run is so undervalued in wrestling and so not talked about as much in high regard. That first WrestleMania match with Austin and The Rock was phenomenal. You know, so I got to go with that. The Rock's corporation title run.
Good pick, man. Good pick. And if you look at all the pieces that came together throughout wrestling history because of that run and what was developed there, a lot of people made a lot of money and a lot of people became stars because of it. You know, they became stars because of it for sure. 100%. Sure. Good pick. Foley, the stunt man. Taz wrestled without a mind. Kerry won the title in 84 at the X in 86. Cool. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. All right. My next one, I'll make it my last one, and I'm going to give you the honors of doing the final one. We've already talked about Hogan. He's obvious, okay? So you guys would expect me to talk about Hogan's run, and it's obvious. You know, it doesn't need more elaboration on it because of what he's done for the business, and we already talked about him earlier. But I got to go with somebody from modern times, and this is one I got to throw in there. And I hated his character at first. When they turned him heel, it made me start liking him. He's done some amazing work, but Roman Reigns, 100%. WWE was on fucking life support. Their show was unwatchable when Roman won that title. Did the baby, turned on everybody and finally became the heel and dropped the babyface bullshit. When he finally embraced what he was and they gave him this long run of over 1,300 days, it made WWE an interesting product once again. And it single-handedly, in my opinion, the bloodline and Roman Reigns specifically is what took them from a shit product that people couldn't even watch anymore. And it helped bring it to what it is now, where they're an even bigger global brand. And without Roman Reigns and that title run, and people wanted to see him get beat for years, where are they now? Where are they now? I don't know. Roman Reigns does not get talked enough about being one of the all-time greats too, because his star appeal has single-handedly kept that company going and brought them in a better direction because of him. And I think a lot of the stuff that you see, the big things that they're making, is because of a guy like Roman Reigns and what he did with that huge title run. Cody Rhodes' career would not be what it is right now if it wasn't for Roman Reigns. Yeah. And Cody's a huge star now. So I got to go with Roman for my final one. Close this out. What's your final one, Mr. Rich?
So I'm going to give you two because I promised a negative one, and then I'll finish on a positive. My negative one is going to be the same one that I just mentioned, and it's The Rock. And it's not going to be a time frame that anyone's going to be able to guess. It's going to be when he won the WCW title from Booker T, when WCW was bought out by Vince McMahon. And I'll say this, it was one of the most negative, impactful things, because WWE had a situation on their hands that they could have done something that would have revolutionized the wrestling business, and they could have pumped a bloodline life support into WCW and probably turned it into something and controlled their own competition. When The Rock won the WCW title, it devalued WCW so badly and made them look so horrible in a way. And you can go back and watch it. I mean, it made them look like a bunch of jabronis, and a lot of them were, but it buried Booker T for a long while. It made Booker T look horrible, and that kind of set the tone for anyone else that was coming over at that time through WCW. From then on, it was like that was the message. If you were coming in from WCW, you were getting buried. And so that to me was a really negative, impactful title run. Was The Rock's WCW Championship reign.
I agree, and I think we did a whole episode on it a few years ago where we broke down the invasion angle a little bit.
Yep.
Rock winning that belt was the nail in the coffin for WCW
Yep.
and them ever going to do anything with them. They completely jobbed out the biggest people that they had, like the Booker T's, you know, that had come over there.
DDP. Yeah.
Made DDP to be the fucking stalker, you know,
Yep.
stalking the Undertaker's wife. I mean, it was such horseshit stuff. Rock's winning that belt over, it was at Booker or at SummerSlam, if I remember.
Booker
right?
T. Yep. SummerSlam.
Fucking killed it killed them. They were dead in the water after that.
Yep.
Done. Over.
Yep.
You know, it was in. I never will understand that. You know, I'll never understand it. When you own your competition, it doesn't make any sense to just retire it and not try to make money off of it. In my opinion, there was a lot of money left on the table by them killing it.
Right.
It's not like they paid a lot of money.
No.
You know,
Not at all.
$5 million or whatever they got.
Pennies on the dollar.
Seriously.
And it
Crazy.
was it was still the number one rated show on that network, and they could have kept it going and made money off of it.
You mean to tell me
Vince could have negotiated a TV deal for them.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. You mean to tell me Vince couldn't negotiate a TV deal for them? Come on.
Yeah.
He bought it just to be a fucking asshole, and because
Absolutely, he
100%,
did.
man. That's why when we
That whole holding the world in his hand thing was not just
Yep.
a promo. That was legit.
that's why we've said it so many times here throughout the last couple of years since the Vince scandal came out, and he's faded off into obscurity for the most part. We've said it then, you know, we've said it so many times. If you fucking think Vince McMahon is going to lie over, just go look at everybody that tried to fucking bully him out or tried to fight against him. He fucking bought his competition out and he fucking killed him, and he did it, and he enjoyed
As
every
they were
minute of it.
crying, he fucking relished in it.
He just fucking, it was probably one of his kinks, man, and he was out there fucking jerking himself to it every time he killed him. I mean, if you think
You
he's
think
going
he
to
had a sex toy named WCW Nitro?
he called it Easy E.
He called it Easy.
I mean, but Vince is a businessman, you know, and there's certain times though that a businessman, when you got fuck you money like Vince has, where he just says, I'm going to fuck you. I'm going to buy everything. I'm going to kill what you tried to kill me with. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it out, man, real fast. And he's going to do the same to everybody that wronged him and turned him in and turned their back on him. He's going to do it. Just wait. It'll happen. Vince is going to fuck him somehow or another. It's just natural for him. Good pick, though, Rich. All right, guys. Great show.
Let me finish on my positive note here.
Oh, yeah, I forgot positive.
I got the last positive, and it's
All right,
Vincent Kennedy McMahon's ECW title run. No, I'm just kidding. No. It's God, that do-rag was awesome. Cody Rhodes, man. Yeah, I'll be quick about it. Cody Rhodes.
No, you're fine.
His story that they finished and everything like that. Huge moment to go from the AEW where he's smashing Triple H's throne, and you think he's going to get buried when he comes back and stuff like that, and they just put him over to the moon with the Bloodline storyline that's really been the life support for the WWE up until this point. And is still effectively in their storylines with Solo and stuff like that. They're still the Bloodline technically. But yeah, Cody Rhodes title run, I would say modern wise is probably one of the most important right now. Merch wise, the whole 9 yards. I mean, the guy is the face of the WWE, doing his best work over here and really showing that he's the top in the industry. You know, and I think that Cody Rhodes has established himself as the new well, I can't even really say that. I'm just saying in comparison of levels of who he is. He's the locker room general, you know, and I think he's the new Cena.
He's QB1 as he calls himself.
QB1, yeah, he is the guy, you know. So I think his title run that he did, where he beat Roman Reigns, was a real huge moment for wrestling because it's taking us into the new era, you know.
I couldn't agree anymore with Cody Rhodes too, and that stuff. Cody Rhodes, man, I never was a guy that was a huge fan of him or anything like that. He won me over with his hard work, his dedication, that he would bet on himself. And his work during this whole, 2-year feud that they had where, eventually culminates where he gets the win the second time. It was some of the best stuff I've seen in decades, bro.
Yep.
Like that WrestleMania with him and Roman on the second one, it was so fucking good and hot and interesting.
Slow burn.
Fun. Yeah, it was amazing what they did. And when Cody, this is how much I was invested in it. I was watching the Cody Rhodes match versus Roman in an airport in Japan. Like, that's how much I was invested in this.
We were waiting for the glass to shatter too. We thought Austin was going to come back, and it was Undertaker.
Remember the theories we were having on that stuff?
Yep.
I was so pissed because I had to board my plane when the match was coming on, and I could not get any Wi-Fi to watch it in the airplane there. I literally stayed off the spoilers, and when I got to my first layover where I had internet, that's the first thing I did was I went and watched that match, and what happened. And it was because of the great shit that Cody Rhodes had done that year with Roman Reigns and all the other pieces involved in that puzzle. Yep. Cody getting that run with the title, it was a great thing for wrestling.
The only missing piece would have been if Dusty Rhodes and Goldust were there. That would have been amazing.
Yeah. I personally would have rather seen Stone Cold than The Undertaker too, but
oh, absolutely.
It was still an awesome moment when the fucking gong hits and then he's sitting behind him.
Well, it would have been great for Austin to come out and stun The Rock. Like, that would have been the culmination of that story and then going on to the future.
Yeah. And I challenge anybody to say that they did not enjoy that fucking WrestleMania and that match.
You ain't a wrestling fan if you didn't enjoy that.
Seriously, it's one of the best ones that they've done in forever, man.
Yeah.
It was
I'd say probably a good 10 years.
It's my favorite WrestleMania as a whole. And that's crazy.
WrestleMania 20 for me will probably be my favorite of all time.
That's a great one too. That was the Madison Square Garden one, right?
Yeah, that's where it all begins again.
Is that when Benoit won it?
Yeah, where he was Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Benoit, and then you had Eddie versus Eddie versus Angle, I think.
Yeah. I always that's probably top 5 for me right there. That was a fucking great WrestleMania. 100%. The reason I go with this one over other ones is I think all in all, it was just such a solid show from top to bottom, and all the matches were fucking entertaining for the most part and good, and the storylines were great. And of course, I love the old school ones, Mega Powers Explode, all the early WrestleManias, whatever. But I don't know, this one always is my favorite one to watch, because it had so many great moments to it. A lot of the older WrestleManias, to me, the thing I don't like when we going back and watch them through the years is it was the main event, which was the one you were looking forward to, and everything on the undercard pretty much was just filler garbage a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And it's not that it was bad. It was filler. All you had was the main event. That WrestleMania had so much that was good and entertaining in there. That's a great card.
Yeah, for sure.
Good pick though, bro. Really good pick. Love that one. All right, brother. Any closing thoughts before we hop off tonight?
Well, I do want to say, I hope you guys had a great holidays. Be safe on New Year's. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And come back to us safely when we bring our show back on a regular basis again, Wednesdays and Sundays. Sometimes we'll switch it up on Saturday. We're going to have UFC events coming up because of the Paramount deal and stuff like that. We're going to be streaming PLEs. 2026 for us is going to be a big push. We're asking you guys, we prefer you to watch the show on YouTube to get our watch time up. But if you watch on Facebook, we still welcome you. We still appreciate your views and stuff like that. We're trying to get our YouTube channel monetized. Not to get rich off this thing or anything like that, but it would be nice to support the show. We can get merch and different things going like we've always wanted to do. And that's all helping us out and producing the content and stuff. So we appreciate it. We've got our trip coming up in January where we're going to get to meet and go in Vegas. We're going to live stream that a little bit for you guys. And you'll get to see all the shenanigans that we get in out there as well. So 2026 is going to be a fun year, man. We're going to kick it off with a bang, and we're going to end it with a bang too. So we'll see you then.
I've never been more excited for a year than I am for 2026, to be honest with you. And 2025 was a great year,
Yeah, it was. We got the show back going again, and
I'm really excited, just for the stuff we got going on, the ideas that me and you have come together that we're going to do in 2026, personal life, for you having your baby. I'm getting married this year, I'm really stoked for 2026. That's why it makes me think of that, how stoked I am and how much we both have to look forward to, how fucking dumb we must be to want to be jumping off of 830.
We're going to start it off with a bang, baby.
We got so much good to look forward to. Fuck,
absolutely.
Man. All right,
caution
guys.
to the wind, superhuman style.
For the juggalos and juggalettes, do not try this at home. Fuck you. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys next Sunday. Have a great New Year's. Once again, we're not going to have our show on the 31st because it's Wednesday. 31st.
Be safe out there, guys. Don't do anything stupid.
And if you're drinking, man,
drink responsibly. I know you guys are all adults and shit. Just
Please.
Don't do anything stupid, man. Let's all come back and have some fun with wrestling, with reality.
Yeah.
In the year 2026, we're going to have some fun. We want you here with it. So,
yeah, no doubt, man. All right, guys, we'll see you next week where we're talking the greatest Royal Rumble moments of all time. We'll see you next Sunday. For Richie, I'm John. Happy New Year's. We'll see you guys next week.